Hey, what's going on, guys? Marshall Breakdowns here. Today I'm going to be doing a breakdown of Mark Hall's duck under. The duck under is one of the first techniques wrestlers learn, but surprisingly it's used less and less at higher levels of the sport. Mark Hall is one of a short list of wrestlers who's been able to consistently make the duck under work at the highest levels, moving beyond high school to collegiate and international wrestling. In this video, I'm going to highlight a couple key elements and concepts that make his duck so successful. The first is his ability to clear the opponent's elbow and humerus. If you're going to hit any duck under successfully, you have two things you have to get out of your way first: your opponent's elbow and their upper arm. Now, there's several ways to do this, from ripping an outside tie to jacking an underhook. But one thing to pay attention to: watch how Hall's head swings under in a U shape before he comes back up and blocks the opponent's arm from retracting with his head. But first, let's back up. Before we even think about clearing the arm, we have to figure out how we're going to get under. The key to this is the timing. Okay, if you've done any wrestling at all, you probably know the best time to hit a duck is when your opponent's pushing in. It's actually more specific than that, though. We want to create a situation not where our opponent won't defend the duck, but can't. So watch how Hall hits the duck at the exact moment that his opponent's stepping, just as he's setting his weight on his lead foot. Now I'm going to show something. Here's a couple of Hall's failed duck attempts. And take note, all of these failed attempts were lacking one or both of these two elements. Notice though, Hall doesn't just stop after a failed duck attempt. He's able to use a failed duck to set up another attack. One of his favorites you can see here is a duck to an inside trip on the far side. To defend a duck, many opponents are going to circle their feet away from the side you're trying to duck. Oftentimes, this is going to leave them open for an inside trip to the opposite side. Now, the last element to any duck is the finish. Once we set it up and gotten under and behind the arm, we got to keep moving. Watch how Hall immediately pivots on his knees to face the same direction as his opponent. This takes a decent amount of athleticism to do, so be patient if it's a little difficult to pick up at first. You can practice this motion alone for reps at home. Start off on your knees with the ball of your foot planted on the mat to push off of. Then practice pushing off and turning 180 degrees in one motion. And remember, at the very least, if the opponent stays standing, you can come up and always mat return after. So let's review these three elements Hall uses to finish duck unders at the highest levels. First, he finds a way to clear the elbow and upper arm. Whether he's pulling the outside tie, hitting the Fonzie duck Flow Wrestling showed, he always clears the elbow first. Next, he typically times his ducks as the opponent is pressuring in, just as they're setting the weight on their advancing foot. Lastly, Hall always immediately pivots to face his opponent, whether they stay standing or not. If the opponent does stay on their feet, Hall will simply stand up, body lock them, and mat return them. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe. I'll be uploading Mondays and Fridays. Thanks for watching and good luck training.